Morgan Thompson, thanks so much for joining the ICT Newscast. Let's get right into it. Can you talk to me about what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. I am a Cherokee artist. I basically work in animation as a storyboard artist, and I also do a little bit of producing. And then I'm also a writer over at Scholastic, and I do basically a little bit of this and that. I'd like to thank you guys for having me on, by the way.
Morgan, like you just said, you are Cherokee. How does that influence your work?
Oh, like in every way. Like whenever you're telling a story, you always give like a part of yourself to people. And growing up on the Cherokee Reservation in northeastern Oklahoma, like every part that I give of myself to you is a little bit of like my culture, like the people I grew up with, the community I've like loved like with all my heart for like ever. Because like that's who I've been with my whole life, right?
And why did you decide to become an animator?
I think I really wanted to like become an animator because I liked the idea of being able to tell stories with pictures. And over the years, my like definition of that has changed quite a bit. I've spread out to other things, but my heart has always come back to animation just because it was kind of my first love as a kid. Whenever like we would go over to a grandparents' house or I'd be hanging out with my cousins, we were always watching something animated. So that was kind of the closest media I had growing up as a kid, and I think it just stuck with me.
You know, being working in the entertainment industry and the animation industry, how was it like being native?
Oh, it's like I would say it's a hoot, but I mean like there are some like pros and cons to being native in this industry. But what I love the most about it is like being able to share like a bit of myself with like the animation community and show them just like what we are as native people, like how I grew up, like kind of like breaking those stereotypes that they have envisioned in their minds and show them that like yeah, we're not all like living in teepees or anything like that. We're kind of like just regular people that like to have fun, you know? We like a good laugh.
You actually worked on a new movie called Pow by Joey Clift recently. What was it like working on that movie?
Oh, it was like everything I could want in an animation production and more. I got to like be able to do like a lot of like native inspired designs that we don't really get to see very much in animation because of just like how the industry is right now. There isn't a lot of call for stuff like that, which fingers crossed there's more in the future. But working with Joey, I like finally got to like draw like native dancers and try and help them figure out how that would look in animated like form and like figuring out the layouts and what those look like compared to like an outdoor powwow and stuff like that, and taking an inspiration from other animated films to like try and envision like what a native like short film would look like, basically.
There will be Native children watching this interview. For those Native children that are interested in animation, what advice do you have for them?
My biggest advice for like Native kids that want to get into this industry is to like just be yourself and just like tell stories and just keep drawing. Like that is the like quintessential thing about animation is like it doesn't matter like where you're from or what you look like as long as you're your authentic self, people will listen and people do respond very well to that. And I think like it's been like so long since we've really had like a native voice in this industry that I think people are like looking for that now. So I'd say just go for it. If you are interested in an industry like this, like there's no right way to do it.
We were just talking about how, your background influences your work. Can you talk to me about some of your other influences?
Yeah, so as an artist, I have like a ton, but one of the more prominent ones has always been Lloyd Kiva New. He's a Cherokee fashion designer, and I just like he might be a fashion designer, but I fell in love with his watercolor work. I think it's like absolutely incredible. And as somebody who's still a sucker for watercolor work, like I always come back to like his paintings and like find new inspiration from that. I'm also inspired by a lot of people in animation, like Chris Sanders, and quite Brenda Chapman is another one.
Morgan, can you talk to me about any projects you're currently working on?
So as of right now, I'm actually writing a YA rom-com for Scholastic. It's called How to Be a Heartbreaker, and it is like my debut novel. So it's been like a very like interesting ride. being with them on this project, and I'm like excited to be able to show everybody like what I've been working on.
Morgan Thompson, thank you so much.
Thank you guys.